do with bank bailouts. It was a law that said we're going to restructure the entire medical record system so that all medical records are going to be computerized in a database. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with the budget, doesn't have anything to do with banks. Somebody slipped that in there, and it got passed, and now it's the law of the land. And so the question that I have, that I don't have an answer to yet, is what's in this law? What is in this bill? We have today, we are on our countdown actually to our Bethel homecoming that begins on Friday. We're going to have a light dinner here at Bethel Church at 5 p.m. Central Time. And then at 7 o'clock we are going to have a preaching service. I'm putting together the format for what I'm going to do right now. And right now the way the Lord's leaning is that I'm going to be putting together some things about the Bible. This is the 400th anniversary of the King James Bible. I've found some really, really interesting things that I'm going to be sharing with some people. And that will be starting on Friday night at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday morning, I believe at 9:30, we're going to have breakfast here at 8 o'clock. Pastries, donuts, and biscuits and sausage gravy. And we're going to have breakfast here at 8 o'clock, 9:30. We're going to begin our teaching service. That'll take us up until noon. And then I think about 1:30 in the afternoon, we'll have another teaching service. And that'll go until I look at everybody and say, you know what, I'm tired, I'm going home. And then we'll have our regular services on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. I think we'll be at 2:30 in the afternoon with a potluck dinner. I love potluck dinner because somebody always brings deviled eggs, and I love deviled eggs. So we're gearing up for that here in our little town of Festus, Missouri. We have some people that have called in, said they're going to be here. And looking forward to meeting a lot of people. And we actually have a family that's coming in tomorrow. The Troutman family from Indiana, they're going to be coming in tomorrow, and they're going to be in service with us Wednesday night. And I think they have asked me to be part of the live broadcast on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And there's like 5 in the family or 6 in the family, and I'm not sure they're going to all fit in here, but we're going to try to cram them in here anyway. So looking forward to that. I have pieces of paper here. I have a UFO video and a story that looked really, really interesting. This was sent by Arlene up in Iowa, and we're going to use that to get into our UFO video of the day. The UFO video of the day comes out of Brazil. And we're going to have that, and then we're going to do our random access Bible study. If you'd like to get a hold of us during this live broadcast, you can do what Jeffers did at Watchman Community. And let me just say hi to him very quickly. He says, top of the 4 a.m. tomorrow morning to you, Mike. And so you can get on Watchman Community, and you can chat with me online that way. And here is the Troutmans, The Girls and I Love Your opening theme song. They enjoy listening for the different instruments. They do exactly what I do. When I hear songs like that, I'm listening. I'm trying to pick out the instrumentation. It's just something I do. So anyway, you can get in touch with us that way, or at PastorMikeOnline.com. You can leave a little email message at the bottom, and I have some of them pulled up on the screen now, and I hopefully we will try to get into that here shortly. Let's look at some news items that are sort of interesting and important that don't quite make it into the Watchman video broadcast. Here is one. This says, absent without leave Muslim soldier. Planned attack on Fort Hood personnel. Let's see here. A tip from a Killeen gun dealer led to the arrest of an AWOL Muslim soldier who had firearms and bomb-making components in his hotel room and planned an attack on Fort Hood personnel, authorities confirmed Thursday. Killeen police arrested Private Nassar Jason Abdo, 21, who was AWOL from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Wednesday at America's Best Value Inn on South Fort Hood Street in Killeen on an outstanding child pornography warrant. The arrest came after an investigation that started with a tip from a local gun shop on Tuesday. Abdo was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division's Company E 1st Brigade Combat Team at the time of his arrest. U.S. Representative John Carter who's been briefed on the arrest, told News 10 Thursday afternoon that the soldier planned to detonate 2 bombs at an unnamed restaurant near the post that Fort Hood personnel frequent, and then planned to open fire on the diners. He was planning on going into a restaurant someplace that was heavily traveled by soldiers, set off the 2 bombs, and come back in and finish everybody off with his gun, Carter said. Now, this would have been, had it succeeded, this would have been the second not right-wing terrorist, not Tea Party. Joe Biden comes out this week and says that the Tea Party people are all terrorists. You know what we are a terror to? You know what Tea Party people are a terror to? And if you are associated and affiliated with the Tea Party in this country, I guarantee you don't like this bill they passed. They did nothing to cut our debt. I told somebody today, you know what? I think I'm just going to try to borrow as much money as my name can possibly borrow and live on that. Live an extravagant lifestyle, lifestyles of the rich and famous, and not pay it back. And then borrow some more, and then borrow some more. I think I'll do that. In fact, I know somebody that did that. I know somebody that repeatedly changed their name in different ways to keep getting credit cards and to keep getting lines of credit and to keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and never paid it back. I know somebody that did that. You know what happened to them? They went to prison because that's fraud. Why is it not fraud when the American government does it? But anyway, Joseph Biden comes out and says that the Tea Party people are terrorists, potential terrorists. Like the FEMA manual that a guy in my church gave me. He was at a FEMA meeting years ago, and he gave me this manual on FEMA, and I used the cover of it in our Babel Conspiracy video and book, because it's got a big target of the World Trade Center. This came out in 1999. And this FEMA manual was teaching people to learn how to identify potential terrorists. Not the real terrorists, but people who have the potential to be a terrorist. And it was telling, anti-abortion people, right-wing conservative Christian fundamentalists who believe in a literal interpretation of the Bible and believe in a literal second coming of Christ. That's who a potential terrorist is. And so Joseph Biden says that Tea Party people are potential terrorists. They are, I don't know what he thinks they're a terrorist to, but it wasn't the Tea Party people that tried to kill all these soldiers in Fort Hood. Wasn't the Tea Party people that blew up the embassy in Kenya. By the way, we went to the area in Nairobi where the United States Embassy used to be. And if you remember, that was back in the 90s. That wasn't the Tea Party people. That wasn't Timothy McVeigh that did that. And as far as I'm concerned, the jury's still out on the whole Timothy McVeigh issue anyway. All of a sudden, there's 3 people. No, there's 2 people. No, there's 4 people. No, now there's more bombs. Everybody get away. We're pulling the bombs out of the building as we speak. Oh, no, there's not any more bombs in there anymore. Oh, no, there never was any bombs. Oh, no, there never was a third person. And get your story straight. But to blame the Tea Party, to blame, and let's just say it, to blame white Americans who wear camouflage hats and have a gun rack on the back of their pickup, to blame them for the problems we have in America is absolutely ridiculous. And to accuse them of being terrorists is stupid, because those are not the ones that are actually doing the terror work. They're not the ones. Here we have another Muslim in the military that is angry over our policy concerning the Middle East and is going to take matters into his own hands. And it just keeps repeating over and over and over. These are the ones who are performing the terrorist acts. But the TSA takes a little old lady and makes her pull her soiled Depends off in the line, because you never know, Granny might be packing. And it's ridiculous, the world that we live in right now. It's totally ridiculous. Here is an article Boeing's Millennium Falcon floats using Nazi technology. Boeing is working on a new, and if you want to think of our video, UFOs, Chariots of the Beast. I talked about this in here, which somebody on YouTube saw it and thought I was stupid. So anyway, Boeing is working on a new flat plane that would be able to take off and land vertically using dozens of new pulse jets they call Pulse Ejector Thrust Augmenters. PETA, P-E-T-A, Pulse Ejector Thrust Augmenters. Of course, these things were originally created by Nazis. While a primitive working pulse jet was patented by Russian engineer V.V. Kirivoden, it was German engineers George Madelung and Paul Schmidt who actually made the first efficient design, which was apt for flying. The design was adopted by Goering's Luftwaffe for the V-1 bombs that terrorized England during WW2, you know, the big one. Fortunately, their bloody Buzz Bombs engine was inefficient, noisy, prone to failure, and had a very low life expectancy. Not to mention that they were slow enough to be shot down by British interceptors, unlike the ballistic rocket-based V-2 created by another Nazi, the father of the Saturn rocket, Wernher von Braun. And if you remember from the video that we talked about UFOs and the Chariots of the Beast, the reason why we have this technology is we went over and got it. We went over to Germany at the end of World War II after we defeated Hitler, and we got all their scientists, the ones that Russia didn't end up with. We got all their scientists and brought them back over here and said, bring all your paperwork with you. We're going to need to see that, and so it doesn't surprise me. We were out to pick Alicia and Michael up from the airport on Friday evening, and their flight was delayed. And I'm going, duh. She called from New York that morning and said, oh man, everything's been going so well today. Man, we just got from one plane to another and it was just so fantastic and great and blah, 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 blah. And then they got a storm that moved through New York, and they actually got on the plane and had to deplane. So we were up, the airport is about an hour from here, and so we drove up there to a mall, and I was in Cabela's. I was in redneck heaven in Cabela's, and bought a deer blind for my son up there. And but anyway, she calls and said they had to deplane because there was a storm up there. So now we're an hour away from home at this mall. So we decided to go see what I think was the most ridiculous waste of time. Other than I have a game on my iPad that I think is a more ridiculous waste of time, but it's a lot more enjoyable than this. We actually saw the Smurf movie, and it was the most ridiculous, boring, not funny waste of time that I don't know, I feel guilty for losing that much of my life. I feel guilty for not trying to share that much of my life with other people. I feel terrible. I felt dirty. It was a horrible movie. It was not funny. Caleb laughed at it a lot. I could hear him go, I'm just going, Anyway, here's an article from the Washington Times. Sure, they look blue, but are the Smurfs closet reds? Talk about a waste of time. Talk about a waste of space. Why is the Washington Times writing about this? You remember the Smurfs, blue skin, white caps, 3 apples high, wanton berry junkies, a 1980s pop phenomenon. The adorable masters of the Saturday morning cartooniverse are back. The computer-generated attraction in a new movie opening nationwide Friday. As Papa Smurf and friends re-enter the cultural atmosphere, there's no dodging the question, are the Smurfs now, or have they ever been communist? A red and blue menace. A crypto-Marxist cell escaping from history's dustbin of discarded lies to re-inspire a glorious people's revolution. One seemingly innocuous cinematic adventure for children of all ages at a time. They have a dictator like this is